Hello, and thank you for tuning into my YouTube channel, Rose Ward, StampersDelight.com. Today what I'd like to do is I would like to show you the new paper pumpkin for this month, which is Joy to the World. I'm going to just move my camera down a little bit so you can see better. And this is the Joy to the World October paper pumpkin. Great little kit here. We've got the stamps. I'm not sure if you can see them. Let me just put something under there so you can see them a little bit better. I know there's a lot of glare there. Got that one. You'll see me using these. And also you get a little Just Jade Stampin' Spot. We have some, this is some of the ideas here. It also tells you the different languages, what it means. Or because we have English, French, and German. And then let's just open this up and take a look. All right. So I always like to save my box and open this up. And I'm going to show you what they show or what they recommend you do for the card kit. But then I'm going to show you something a little bit different. I've got quite a few ideas here. So let's just get started. All right. So in the kit, you get your baker's twine, dimensionals, these cute little cable knit pieces, great envelopes with insides. I'm going to show you how to get more out of this kit than you can imagine. And then we have our die cuts. We also have our card bases. Now, when I first looked at this, I didn't realize that the card bases, okay, if you look, there's four of these gold ones, the lines going this way, and 4 going the opposite way. I didn't realize that. So you have 4 of each of these, so that's enough to make 8 cards. Also in here you have the die cuts. So you have 4 wreaths, or 5, what do we have? 5 wreaths, okay? And you have 10 flowers, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and the 5 wreaths. So you actually have some extras in here. Then what you also have is you have your glue dots and these great things. Okay, so these die cuts, you see that you got the banners, and then you have the words. So if in the US, we would use love, peace, and joy. Then you have the French and German version of those words. And I'm also going to show you how you can use those. So this is all part of the kit. Now, if you'd like to get the paper pumpkin, just go to StampersDelight.com and click on paper pumpkin, or send me a message or an email, rubberrosie@optimum.net, and I can tell you how to get these great kits sent to your home every month. And you can cancel whenever you want. You can also hold a month if you don't want a certain month. Okay, so in here it shows you the 8 cards that you would make. And then when you open it up, it gives you the instructions. There's also a video out on that. I'm sure you've all seen that. And then on the back side, they give you these 2, but then they give you some alternates. So I'm going to start first because I always get an extra kit. So I'm going to put this away for 1 second. And I'm going to show you what I've already done with it. I'm just getting back from vacation, so I haven't had time to do a lot of this, but let's bring in that paper again. Okay, so here's the paper. Now let me bring this down a little bit so you can see. Here's the paper, and here is the Love to You and Yours card, and here's that card. So these I did exactly like the kit shows. I like to do at least one of those of each. And the nice thing is that you've got these great sets. Merry Christmas, to you and yours, sending love to the world, and this great inside. I love the inside saying, wishing you a very happy Christmas filled with fun and laughter. What a great inside, right? For any cards for Christmas. So you can, mix and match that. All right, so that's what the first one looks like. And you can get look at the still shots on my blog, stampersdelight.com. I upload all of those. So the next one we have is peace. Okay, sending peace. And it's the same idea. Okay, I just did exactly what they showed. And of course it comes with the Just Jade. I grabbed my cherry cobbler also, because those are the colors that are in there. All right. Then the Joy to the World. And remember, there is a regular video from Paper Pumpkin, and also a Facebook group, Paper Pumpkin Facebook group, and alternatives. So if you belong to the Paper Pumpkin group, you can go on that website and you can see a lot of alternatives. So there's the Joy. So which one are we missing here? We are missing, oh yes, we're missing this one. Okay, so that's the third one. The fourth one, and you can see they're all four the same here, is the Merry Christmas. Now these aren't the standard size that we normally do. I think ours are A4s and this is an A6, so these cards are a little bit larger. And so this is that Merry Christmas one. Okay. All right, so those are the four that they tell you to do with the kit. And you can absolutely do all of these the way they show you on that video. But I'm going to show you a lot of alternatives, actually. So with this kit, I did a couple of extra alternatives. So for here, I changed it up a little bit. And you can see this is an alternative card. Same inside saying, I didn't change that. But I used the Merry Christmas a different way. The Merry Christmas here is right there with the I'm doing it, instead of this way, I'm doing it this way. So there's an alternative for you. Then what I did was I cut some things up, and I'm going to show you how to do that in a minute. I cut the pieces up. Actually, let me show you that first. Okay, I showed you the four. So let me show you how you can make more cards, all right? Let me show you that, and then I'll show you the alternatives that I did. Okay, so what you're going to need for your paper trimmer is your paper trimmer. The first thing I did was I took one of those card bases and I cut that right down the score line. All right, it doesn't matter if it's perfect, because you're going to have to cut this down. I'm going to bring this down a little bit further so you can see. You're going to have to cut this down more anyway. But so that's one card base. One card base, now I can make two cards. Okay? Then what I did was I took the envelope and I just sliced off a little bit on each side. And then I opened it up and I cut this piece off right where that score line is. Now this you could actually use to stamp on, so that's a piece you can use. Where this folded right here, I again cut that. And then what I did was I just trimmed off those pieces of white. And again, you're going to have to trim this down again, so it doesn't have to be perfect the first time. So let's just get that. So that I can use for another card. So that's 3 cards I can make out of that. And guess what? I can even use this strip right here. I've already got that cut right there. So let's line this up. And I am just going to cut off. I think I can line this up to about 1.5. 1.5 should do it. I'm going to cut it at 1.5. And then I'm going to turn the strip around and just bring it back in and cut that off. Okay. So now instead of 8 cards, I can use these pieces. I'm going to use that again. I can use these pieces to make 4, 8, 12, 16. I can use these pieces. and just put them on regular card bases. The other thing you can do is, of course, with all these pieces, you break these up and use them separately, okay? But the main thing is the first part of it is these 4 pieces. Now you can make 4, 8, 12, 16 cards using all these pieces too. You could actually probably get more, and I think I did. Let me show you how I did that. Okay, so I'm going to bring in the ones that I did using that whole thing I just showed you, okay? Here's the first one. Now, I didn't do any of the ones that they showed me. I cut my pieces just like I showed you. And I made this one. Now you can see where there's that strip. And, of course, there's the card base. And I did use... Oh, something fell off here. One of my doodads fell off. And what I also did was I used some embellishments. Okay, some of our rhinestones. So, and Wink Estella. So there's one card, one alternative. Then using the wreath on this one. Now, if you look at the page here, they use 2 flowers on a card. I used one, Christmas rose, so that I could get more bang for my buck. Here's another one that I used. And this one, of course, is using the love from the Poke Outs or die cuts. Okay, so here's another one. And this is the back side of this paper, the card that I cut in half. Here's another one, and this one, some of these I used extra pieces. So let me show you this one. So this one, I used the back side of the cardstock or the card base, and I stamped using the word joy that's in that stamp set. And I used the wreath that goes to the stamp set and the little berries. And I wanted to use, I used love. That's the French word amour, which means love. Everybody knows that. So love to you and yours. Okay. Then I took a piece of, now these are all on my half a sheet of cardstock, card bases. And I stuck with the crumb cake, Just Jade, and cherry cobbler. Here's another one. And I used a piece of our crumb cake and then the back side of one of those cards and stamped Merry Christmas all over it. And then made a little wreath. And I stamped this right on that embossed paper that comes with it. It does work. That's another one I did. Here's another one with the piece. Again, I did it opposite side, opening that way. And, of course, I added some more embellishments. I added a lot of our rhinestones. Now, here's one that I switched to Just Jade, and I used the inside. Now, this is the inside to the envelope. And then, of course, the rest of the pieces that go with it. Oh, I'm not done yet. Here's another one that's Joy to the World. And they might be just a tad different. You could do them all up the same if you want. See, this one was the love. This one is the same card saying love, and this one says joy. And they open different, that's all. Okay. So there's another one. This one I did with the roses. And, of course, here you go again with the piece. Now, I will tell you some of these pieces, when I ran out of the ones that come with the kit, I just used some of my stash and added some extra pieces. And, of course, the red rhinestones. Merry Christmas to you and yours. These are the die cuts that you get for your sentiments, and then I just had some extras. So you do have to add a little extra sometimes, if you want. And then here's another one. I got a couple of them. I'm waiting until the end to show you. Okay, so here's another one, Joy to the World. This one is stamped. And, of course, I took that banner, which is long, and I cut it so that I only used half of it. I can use the other half on another card. That's another one. Then what I did was I did basically the same idea as stamping on the back side of that card, but I did Merry Christmas and Joy. This was an oval that I had left over from another card kit from a long time ago. And it's not quite red, but you can't tell. And I just layered that right up there. And these are our elegant gems from the holiday, the annual catalog. So there's another one. Now, yes, these are all from one card kit. The first ones that I showed you that I did from the actual card kit and that one extra, that was from my first card kit. This is a second card kit that I bought, and I did not do anything that they showed. I just cut it all up the way I just showed you and made all of these cards. I believe there's 18 here. I will let you know in a minute. Now, this one was a little challenge for me, but something I wanted to try. This is with our rectangle dies, and these two pieces, I don't even think we have these dies anymore. They were in my stash box, and what I did was I took a piece of cherry cobbler, and I just arranged these. I ran them through our textured embossing folder. I don't know if you can see that. They all got texture on them. But I had all these pieces in that stash box, and I just randomly laid them out to make this card. So always look in your stash, too, to add to it. That was another one. This, again, was, I just had a little piece left over from one of those strips from the envelope. So I just did that a little off-centered there. And this banner I also had in my stash box. So there's a lot of things you can do with this kit. Now, for the ones that, when you poke these out and you use the love, peace, and joy, you've got all these sayings left in German and French. Use them as a background, which is what I did here. You can't see all the words, but you can see right here I have the ones that are in a different language as a background. And then I put the word love there. And there's the other half of that gold banner that I used. Merry Christmas. Love to you and yours. Merry Christmas. And then it's got all the words in French and German. The other two that I did was the last two with this kit that I did. This I made a Z-fold card. And you can see this is the back, the card front that I cut in half. So this was a card front and this was a card front, and I cut them up to make them into a Z-fold card, and then of course I layered it with the inside of that envelope. And then this is the embossed cable, and then this was just a piece I had added by making it this same size. So that's another card I did with the back. Again, this is all one card kit. And then the last, let's see, do I have? Yep, this is the last one to show you with this card kit. And I used that with our rectangle dies. And I added some blue to this one. Even though there wasn't blue in it, I thought it looked nice. So that's with our rectangle dies. So again, this is all from one card kit, like I just showed you how I cut those pieces up. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 cards. I thought I had 18, but one might have gotten away from me. So 17 cards I made with this one card kit. The one card kit that I showed you how to cut it up. Even though this shows for 8, 12, 16, I made 17 because you can also use just the stamp sets. Okay, you can actually make a ton more, but that's what I started with. Okay, so again, that's what I did with the second card kit. The first card kit that I showed you was the ones that came with the kit. And I did show you those cards. So remember, back to that, these 4 were the ones that I made with the card kit, the way it comes. And then what I did with this one, I did a few alternatives. Okay, that was one alternative. This was another alternative. Here's another alternative. And then again, because I don't like to throw anything out, using the back of this, or those words that are in the different language, again, I used them as a background, and I did this card. So those were alternatives I did with the original card kit. Oh, one more. Here's another one using those background pieces. Okay. So let me show you real quick one of the cards. We'll just do one card using that cutting how I cut it up, okay? So let's just see. All right, so I have these pieces here. Those are the 4 pieces that I cut. I'm going to take a piece of shaded spruce first. And I'm not sure where my bone folder is. Oh, there it is. Okay. And let's see what we want to play with it on here. Okay, so this is, we will have to cut this, okay? So I'm going to make different cards, 4 different cards using that. Normally that would be just one card. Okay, so let's cut this piece down to the measurements of 4 by 5 1/4. That would go right on there. Okay, I'm going to take these pieces, and let's see, I'll use this. I'm going to take the pieces that come with the kit. Make this a wreath. Do this one with the wreath. And we'll take one of the small pieces here. Okay. And we'll use a piece with this one. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to first take my baker's twine. I'm going to wrap this around. Oh, that was perfect. That piece came off from my other kit. I'm going to tie this in a knot. It's easier for me to tie it that way first, and just put a little bow here. I'll play around with the bow afterwards. I'm going to go ahead and just glue that down using my Stampin Seal. Now I will be back on YouTube Live tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't forget that we do have the Designer Series paper special going on. That's only one month left to that. Or 1 week, not 1 month. That's going to go right there. I do need the dimensionals. I'm going to add some dimensionals to that. Okay, so this is going to go right here. I'm going to grab my mat because remember, this is photopolymer stamp sets and you do need your mat. Which I left on my other table. Okay, so now I'm going to bring in this wreath. And I've already got this already mounted. Now I'm going to bring in my my Just Jade. And there is a way to line this up. There's been a couple of things said, what I found is there's this one tiny little notch right there. I found that that for me works the best. Where's that notch? And you just kind of roll it around until you find that little notch. There it is on the other side. Okay. And I will tell you that if it's not perfect, I don't get crazy about it because it looks good no matter what you do. Press that down. Peel that off. You can see the little berries already on it. That's going to go right there. And again, I am going to use dimensionals. I'm just going to put 4 on here. Probably could get away with 3, but we're going to go ahead and do 4. Put that right there. I'm going to take my piece, and you can do Tombow. You can use your, I like the detailed glue. That's on the other table. So I'm just going to go with my Tombow, and I am just going to put very little bit. This one might be out. Okay, well, this one doesn't want to come out yet, so let me grab my detailed glue, because I really do like that one better, and I'll show you why. This actually has a nicer little point. So you can have more precision when something this small. Just add a couple little dots of glue. And remember to close that up right away, because it does dry pretty fast. And you won't be able to open it, and then you got to put it under hot water. So I'm going to put piece right there. And then I'm going to grab, I can do Peace to the World. I'm just trying to think. I think I'll use maybe the word sending. There's a couple Peace to you and yours. I'm going to put sending peace, okay? So I'm going to grab one of those little pieces here. I already did. Let's make sure we got that. I'm going to go ahead and grab the Just Jade. And that's going to put, I'm going to put that maybe up here. Okay, just something a little bit different. All right, so what I do when it's like that, I'm going to put a little glue. So I put a little glue right here on the piece that's going up here. And then what I want to do is I want to make sure that's propped up a little bit. So I'm going to put a dimensional right under that. There we go. Sending peace. And then just for something different, how about sending peace to you and yours? So I'm going to grab another one of those little, and I'll put that right here. This one I'm going to actually glue flat. I'm just using my Stampin Seal. Put that right there. I'm going to grab a piece of white cardstock, so you do need to add some extra stuff here. And I'm going to grab that nice saying. And I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. Take it off that mat, because sometimes the mat makes it slide. Got my glue on there. And there's your first card. Now remember, you would have been using this whole thing for a card in an envelope. So I just did my first card, and I still have all of this left. So the next card we'll do is we'll use this outside piece. And we will use, let's use the Just Jade. Okay, so I'm going to bring in my Just Jade. And I'm going to cut this long ways. Go ahead and fold that in half. You can use your paper trimmer to score the line if you'd like to do that. So we're going to do that. Now this piece would go here. Now that's kind of blasé, but we're going to fix it right up. I'm going to do 4 by 5 1/4. And I don't know if you can see it on camera, but there is like a distressed look to this paper, you see it? So it's kind of cool. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a background. So I am going to take my Just Jade and my cherry cobbler. I'm winging these, by the way. I haven't, you know, I've done other ones, but this is just on the fly here, as I call it. I'm going to go ahead and use the back of this because I don't want to get my mat too dirty. And this is going to go, it has to go off because the paper is going to go off. I'm going to do Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. You can see I'm just making a background. Of course, you can change up the colors and everything, but for time's sake in the video, I'm just keeping them the same. Then I'm going to go in with my cherry cobbler and the Joy. Now, these are the stamps that come with it. Okay, so there's our background. Move that out of the way for a minute. Bring that piece right back in here. And let's grab, for this one, let's grab the flowers. Now, I would only use one flower so that I have an extra flower to use on another card. I might change that, we'll see. I'm going to use this piece, I think. Let's see. Yep. Okay. So I'm going to use the larger piece here. And then grab some of those pieces again, the banner right here. Can go right across here, and we'll grab one of those dies here, die cuts. Now that's kind of like, that white doesn't really show up too well. So let me do a little sponging, I think. I'm going to sponge that edge. Get my little sponge out. And I am going to sponge it in cherry cobbler because I want it to show up. Okay, then I'm going to grab the Merry Christmas again. Move that out of the way for a minute. In the Just Jade. Now I'm using my larger ink pads. I save my ink spots for extras. All right, so we got Merry Christmas. I'm going to bring that all back in and layer it up. You don't have to use the baker's twine for every card if you don't want to. I don't think I'm going to use it for this one, just to be a little different. Right here. Glue that down right in the center. This is going to go, I don't know if you could see it, I have a little finger mark there, so this is going to go right on top of there. Now the Merry Christmas is going to be popped up with some dimensionals. And then I'm going to take the flower. Flower is going to go right here, but that also is going to go on with dimensionals. I was looking for that other dimensional. It got stuck to my fingernail. Okay, we're going to flip that over. And we're going to put that one right there. Now, I am going to add some little gems. Let's see what I have close to me. I have anything that I want to use here. I have some little, these are from our, all the trimmings. Just some little white and red dots. I'm going to add some of the little white ones. I don't use those too often. Oh, just add a few little white ones around here. Okay, just add that. Grab a piece of white cardstock. Now the other thing I would do, oh, I have it right here. The other thing I really like to do, and I did with almost all my cards, is I took the Wink of Stella. Let me just see if this needs to be squeezed just a tad. Let me squeeze it off to the side because I usually get this all over when I do that. And I did. Let's, whoop. Got a lot on there. I'm just going to use my tissue paper to wipe some of it off. There we go. And I'm going to brush that around. Tissue paper came in handy. I usually save it to use it for something else, but it came in handy today. So I'm just putting some Wink of Stella all the way around this. And it just makes that flower pop. And if you go back to stampersdelight.com, my blog, you'll see that on most of these cards with the flowers, I did use Wink of Stella. All right, and then again, I'm using the same insert saying you can dress this up or change this up with a lot of our holiday stamp sets. But I like to try to keep, if you only got this kit, I like to try to keep as much the same as possible so you can get more cards out of it. So that's going to be the inside. And then I'm just going to put this inside. And there you have that one. So that's the second card made from the one that we cut up. Okay, so let's do the third one would be this piece. And I'm thinking, let's see. The words go this way. So let me just play here and see what I want to do for this. I'm thinking maybe a Z-fold card. What do you think? Let's fold this back. Okay, so for these words, I need this to be, this is usually 2.5. I know that because I do a lot of these Z-fold cards, but let me just show you. Again, these are cards on the fly, so I'm not sure how they're going to work out. Okay, so it's 2 3/4, which is right. I want this at 2.5 because I want some of that blue to be showing. 2.5. 2.5. And then we're going to have to trim it the other way also. Lengthwise is going to be 4 1/4. So let's cut this at 4 1/4. Just a smidge, one line shy of 4 1/4. That should work. So there's 4 1/4, and I just move it up one notch, one little notch. If you've watched my videos before, and please share my videos, go back and watch my other ones. I use smidge a lot because I'm not a mathematician. Okay, so that would go right there. You could actually layer that up with some more, like maybe white behind it. But we're just going to go with what we have here, okay? So, it's time for me to clean my Stampin' Seal case. It gets gummy right here. You want to definitely get that all that gumminess out of there. Gooby Gone works, or just roll it up and get it off there, okay? That's a little trick to keep your tape runner working well. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and layer that right there. And then I have this other piece, and I can put that one right there, or I can put it right here. And I think I'm going to actually put it right here. So I'm going to grab a piece of white cardstock, and I'm going to add that right in here. All right, so this one I might cut down. I don't think I will. I think I'll leave it. I want it to match up with that side. Yeah, I'm going to do it this way. Okay, so I'm going to take this, and I am going to add some adhesive right here. And I'm going to put this on the end here. Now remember, this is going to be a little longer than the white. Okay, that has to go over a little bit more. Let me just grab that off there. I think I'll put the white down first. So that those two are the same. And then I want these two to be the same. So I'm just going to bring that in and just have a little bit of the green showing through. Okay, perfect. So let me go ahead and add some adhesive to this side. Close that up so I can match that up a little bit. Okay, so now you see I got a little of the Just Jade around the edges and a little bit white in there. So there's your Z-fold card. I'm going to go ahead and bring in one of these cable knits and see which one I want to use. I could use that one. I think I'll use it this way, maybe. Let's see. Or the square one. I think I'm going to use that one instead. So that when I open it up... Well, here's the thing. Let's see how this fits in there. Remember, you want this to not to show. So let's try this and see if it fits in there. And then I'll decide which one I'm going to use. So I'm going to put this right in here. There we go. I'm not changing up the colors only so that I don't have to keep cleaning them. That fits perfect. You don't see the words. All right. So now I can use either one I want. So I think I'm going to use the smaller one. So I am going to go ahead, flip this around. Only glue half the side. This is going to go right here. I'm going to go back in and get one of those wreaths. Bring in my little my wreath here in the Just Jade. Line that back up. There we go. That's going to go right here. So I'm going to grab some dimensionals. Put that on with dimensionals. Put that right there. And let's see, I'll use the words on here. What did we use before? We used peace. So I think I'll use love on this one. How about joy? Yeah, I'll use joy. Okay, I'm going to put joy right there. And again, I'm going to grab my detailed glue. Perfect precision on the detailed glue. Just a little dot here and there. Tombow works. Tombow comes out a little bit thicker. Make sure you close it up right away. Put joy right there. I'm going to grab the other little sticker piece here. That's going to go right about there. I can actually put it here if I wanted to, but I'm going to put it right there. Joy. We'll put to the world. We'll use the Just Jade for that. I think I'm going to use a dimensional, maybe 2 on this. Again, remember, you only want it on half of that because it's going to, I might overlap it. We'll see. Yeah, just like that. Joy to the world. Open that up. And again, I want to use some, since I have these little white gems here, I'm just going to add little white ones. You saw that I used a lot of the glitter ones before, so we'll change it up a little bit. And you see that I did it here and here so that when you open it, there's just a little dot there. So there's a cute little Z-fold card. So that's number 3 from what I cut up. Okay, here we go. Now here's my little strip. All right, so let's see what we're going to do with that poor little strip by itself. Let's grab, since I have a piece of crumb cake, we'll take that. We'll use crumb cake. I'm going to grab this piece. I'm going to make another background on here. Remember, you're just trying to use get as much as you can out of this. So let's do the Merry Christmas again. I love making the background. That one kind of got a little... I don't like that piece, so let me grab another one. I messed that one up. Just got some green on it. Didn't want to do that. All right. You know what? First, let's really give it a good burnishing. Again, I don't want to get it all over my mat. I usually cover my mats with some paper. I have to redo those. So again, I'm just using the Merry Christmas. That one didn't come out too good, but that's okay because that one you're not going to see. All right. I did that one a little light and dark. I don't know if you can tell, but... And then in between, we'll do the joy. Creating a background. Okay. This is going to go right there. And for this one, we're going to use this strip here. I'm going to just cut off a little bit of that strip. Got a little rough edge there. So I'm going to just take a little bit off here. There we go. And then I'm going to cut it this way. So this has to be... Let's see, this is gonna, I want to make sure it's the right size, so I want this at 4 1/4. So I'm just measuring that across to make sure I have this right. 4 1/4. There we go. Okay, so this, I'm going to take some of that baker's twine. Let's see if I want that on there. I think I'll do it on that piece. Okay, so for this one, I'm just going to glue this down. Gotta get that out of there. Doesn't mess up my card. Put that right there. I'll take this piece. Yep, perfect. That's going to go right there. Now this I'm going to also glue down flat. I got to change my runner here. Usually have that all set. Okay, so this is my Stampin Seal, and I'm just going to tear open this package and get a new one out. I usually like to have it all set up, but so that just pops right in there. I love the new Stampin Seal. Okay, so now I'm just rolling that down here, putting that right across the card this way. I am going to bring in one of the gold banners, which will fit right perfect on there. Again, I'm going to glue that down flat. I'm going to grab one of the larger pieces. That's going to go right there. Actually, I might even do it this way. I am going to grab my little sponge dauber. This time I'm going to do it in a little jade. Just going to sponge that. I don't want the white on white. I want to be able to see this, so you can see I'm just sponging that around here. Yeah, so it shows up a little bit better there. I'm going to put Merry Christmas across that. Now this one I'm going to use dimensionals on. I want that to be popped up. And remember I said I split up the flowers, only put one flower on the one card so that you get extras. So I'm going to do Merry Christmas right there. I'm going to grab one of those flowers. Pull that up with dimensionals. Put that right there. Okay. Actually, I think I might play with two of these this time. What do you think? Let's see. Yeah, I think I might. Oh, yeah. Let's just see how I want to do this. I want the words to show. Yeah, I'm thinking this one needs two flowers. And I can tuck part of it right under there. Look at that. Or on the top. Yeah, I'm thinking dimensionals 2 on this one. Going to angle that right in there. Now for the inside of this one, I could stamp right on here, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna grab a piece of Very Vanilla. Oh, actually I have white on there, huh? I think I better use white, match it up. And we'll grab that Christmas one. And we'll grab the little flower in the red, cherry cobbler. And then we'll glue this one down. So there's 4 cards from what would have been 1 card. And you just keep doing that with the rest of the card kit. And of course you could add Wink Stella to this one also, and some more embellishments. So out of what we cut up, we've got that card. We've got this card. We got this one. And we have this one. So there's 4 cards, which would have been 1. So I hope you enjoyed this segment of my YouTube video and my paper pumpkin, Joy to the World, for October 2020. I'll be back on live YouTube tomorrow night, Monday night at 7 p.m. I hope you'll join me. I'm going to be doing the second part of my Curvy Celebration video. And go to stampersdelight.com on my blog or my Facebook page. And by tomorrow, I'll have not only these 4 still shots, but I will have also the 17 cards that I showed you from one box of my pumpkin, paper pumpkin. And then, of course, the original 4. And I still have more to cut now, or more to stamp. So thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great day. Keep on stamping, Stampers. Bye.